Welcome back to another episode. Man, topic of today is weight. And if you see the photo behind me, Muhammad Ali in one of his fights in the past, he knocked down his opponent in the first round, the first punch. And it kind of goes to show when we wait for the big show, we don't really like to wait too much. But I usually consider myself a patient person, so every now and then I know that you have to wait in order to get the things that you want. So in any case, this recent story I had to share with you. My wife's either real good at what she does, straight diabolical, or just a case of a mistake. So in any case, my wife has been cooking probably about the last week and a half straight. I mean, all the meals have been just awesome, and she's just been cooking up a storm. But just yesterday, she said, "You know what? I need a break. We got to eat out tonight. I don't feel like cooking." So I said, all right. So you know what? Figure out what you want. I'll go and I'll pick it up. And she asked the kids and finally came with the idea, let's go to Chipotle, or let's eat at Chipotle. And when she said eat at Chipotle, she said, why don't you get Chipotle and bring it back? I'll put in an order. I was like, all right. So when do you need me to pick it up? And she said, well, I have to work out right now, but I'll send you the order info. I was like, all right. So she sends me a text, and this is while I'm upstairs in my office working on a few things. And she says, hey, you need to pick the food up by 6:45. So at this point, it's like 4:30. I said 6:45. I was like, that sounds a little bit late. I was like, all right, pick it up by 6:45. All right, why don't I just go at 5:15? She said, no. You can't go at 5:15. Again, we're like texting back and forth. Same house, but again, using modern technology and texting back and forth. And she said, no. You had to leave at 6:15. So I was like, all right, 6:15. And get the food by 6:45. Okay. So I continued my work. 6:15 rolls around. I decided I'm going to head out. Ethan comes with me. So we arrive at Chipotle, and they are packed. I mean, there's probably a good 15 to 20 people in line. The line is out the door. But my wife sent me the order. So I'm thinking, okay, 6:15, she sent me the order. I can just go straight to the front, pick the food up. I mean, it should just be pick up a bag and go. So go up there, I'm looking around. Everybody's like busy, like the entire staff is just like doing. So I'm looking and I don't see the bag there, and I said, okay, well, I guess we had to wait a few minutes for the food to be finished. And so 5-10 minutes roll by, and there's a group forming for all the folks that are waiting for the pre-orders. And I was just like, man, I'm so happy we pre-ordered, but I see folks waiting, and they seem like they're being a little bit impatient with their food because they've been there a while too. And so struck up a conversation, and one woman told me that she had been waiting there about 20 minutes. So I'm just like, all right, that's unfortunate. She was there before me, so I was like, well, if you've been here 20 minutes, your food most likely will be here before mine, so we'll see how things go. So waiting, 15-minute rolls by, and I'm just like, all right, this is kind of getting a little bit ridiculous. I know the food's going to be ready by 6:45, but the order should already have been in. So I said, hey, do you have an order for my wife? We've been waiting about 15 minutes here. What's the deal? So nothing. Everyone's kind of like working. They're not really saying too much. And I'm just like, man, this is kind of nuts. So 20 minutes rolls by, and I'm just like, man, we're sitting here waiting 20 minutes for food that we already ordered. It's like we could have gotten in line. So I'm looking over at the line, and the line's like almost gone as far as for the folks that are just ordering their food and getting it and then leaving. But meanwhile, the pre-order line the group's just growing. At this point, we have like 8 or 10 folks just kind of waiting, like where's the food? So then 25 minutes rolls by, and finally I'm just like, I'm looking at the line. There is no line to just order your food and go. There's no line. But at this point, there's 12 people waiting for pre-orders, and everybody's just kind of, doing their social distance, 6 feet apart, and just wondering, like, what's the status? What's the update? And then finally, I have it might have been a manager, I don't know, come out to me, and he said, what was your order again? I said, my wife Sophia ordered food for us, and I showed him my phone with the order in it, and he said, we don't have an order for Sophia here. I'm just like, what do you mean you don't have an order? That doesn't make any sense. So I'm just like, all right, let me call my wife. So I call my wife up. Hey, babe, we've been waiting here like 30 minutes. And the guy tells us, you didn't call in an order. And she's like, I didn't call an order. I sent you an order to go in through the line to actually pick the food up. And I'm thinking to myself, what? It's like, why would you send me an order and I had to pick up the food by 6:45 and I couldn't leave till 6:15? I'm like, that just doesn't make any sense. So at this point, I was irritable and I was done. I'm just like, you know what? We're not eating here. We gotta go. We gotta go. So even though there was no one in the actual line, I just said, I'm done. I'm done. So we walked out, and at this point, I'm starving, but I'm so furious of having to wait 30 minutes only to find out that there wasn't an order that I just had to leave. And I could have gotten upset with my wife, but I really wasn't that upset with her. What I was upset about was that I had to wait 30 minutes at Chipotle to find out that there was not an order for me. That was an incredible waste of time. And I didn't want to stay there anymore, because if I wasted 30 minutes, who knows how much longer it would have been. So that got me thinking, what was a challenge? What was a problem? And the issue with the wait was that I had to wait 30 minutes. And even if there was an error as far as the order, there was no feedback provided. And that's a big lesson. That's a big learning lesson. There was no feedback provided. And as a result, I ended up wasting 30 minutes of my time. I look over with my son Ethan at the wall, and there's 2 TVs that are just blank. Nothing on them. And that got me thinking, Chipotle has a problem that it desperately needs to solve. And that is the status of an order. If the customer could actually see what the status of the order is right up on a TV, there wouldn't be a question of, when's my food going to be ready? Is my food coming up? Like, what's the deal? Is my food already prepared and the bag should be down there? Because, hey, here's the thing. Chipotle has no system for picking up food and leaving. You can literally just walk up, grab a bag, and leave, and no one will be the wiser, right? And you could be waiting there, kind of like me, 30 minutes, and someone already took your food, and you would have never known it. So the processes, that they just need to get set up, and they need to be a lot better than they are. But I was able to quickly pick up on that, and again, for as many people that were in Chipotle as there was, there's huge potential there. But man, I'd hate to see Chipotle go out of business because they could not fix something that seems so simple and so trivial. But in any case, I had to share that story. I was thinking about it, and the diabolical part that kind of comes to me is, if my wife sent me out without ever putting an order in, was there a thought or an expectation that I would come back with the food that she ordered, with like no payment or anything? Like, I think that was a test. I think she sent me out into the wild, like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna send Etzel out to Chipotle and tell him I put an order in, or make him think that I put an order in, but really not, and see what happens. What does he come back with? Now, in my case, I did not push the issue. I just said, hey, is the food ready? Here's my order. Like, what's the deal? But I wasn't trying to push it. But depending on certain people in certain situations, man, you could have gotten a free meal out of that. Who knows? But I just thought that was hilarious. Because we have issues with communication a lot. And this is a small sample of one. But everyone got something to eat. So saved the day. But man, just kind of upset about waiting. So I'm not sure if you have a waiting story, but I felt I had to share mine. And man, I think I'm better and stronger for it, because I know that I'm not going to wait that long in the future. First thing I'm going to ask is our order in the system? That's a question that I learned. But I also believe that the onus is also on the vendor or whoever's providing you a service or goods to let you know where your order is as soon as you arrive. They need to expect that and anticipate that. And unfortunately, I felt that Chipotle missed the ball on that. So, hope you enjoyed the story. I thought it was entertaining. I wanted to make sure I shared it with you. And man, I'm curious to hear, what's your story about waiting that the vendor could have improved on dramatically. So again, hope you enjoy this message. There's definitely more in store, so stay tuned for the next videos, and catch you later. All right, bye.